Hey, welcome back everyone, and thanks for the follow. Let me show you the way. So, like last time, we're gonna be picking a fight with Sodam and going as far as we can. I guess to reiterate, for whatever reason, Sega decided, hey, we should have 100 difficulty levels to this. So, yeah, we're on 31. It's gonna be a bit of a grind. Anyhow, let's get our buffs up. Because this is a tougher fight. I actually want to be picky here. There we go. I want to get the PP economization because bows are really expensive on Photon Arts. Or less grindy than the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon 104 dungeons. Um, I'd say so. The fights take longer than your average floor, even though with Mystery Dungeon you can get stuck on a floor for a while if you get a lot of bad spawns or something. At least, I guess for my class, there's the Scions can do it generally faster, I guess, but I'm not really as proficient with them, so. Plus, I like the braver bow style, so we're just gonna live with it. Oh, I forgot the jerky lasts for 30 minutes. Alright, well, we don't have to micromanage it as much as the fish rations. Or it's eating its carrot rations, not fish. Unfortunately, the veggie rations really wouldn't do much for me. Because that increases tech power.
Emergency code used.
This ominous aura. So, this is its true form.
It's a reiterate for last time, whenever you get a ping, it's a perfect dodge, which gives me an additional chase arrow, which triggers whenever I use a charged attack or a photon art. And it's the closest I get to a perfect dodge counter. Seems like ranged classes, or in the very least, ranged weapon classes that aren't magic seem to not get that privilege in base PSO2. I'm not 100% sure what it's like for the magic classes, I know pretty much any of the melee classes or weapon types you get access to more or less by default. Yes, the primordial darkness is quite intense. I guess spoilers for since this is very out of order from where we are in the story. This is part of the last encounter. I guess I have those buffs going. They don't really matter in here. I like that Sodam here is significantly harder than the one encountered in the story whenever we do actually get to him. Because his behavior is closer to the 12-man raid version. Except you have to fight him by yourself. This fight is 90% high framing to his attacks for me.
Seems it's about to get serious. Don't let your guard down, not even for a second.
Hey, Nate. Don't mind that, it's just a little apocalyptic.
We can't lose. Let's see this through.
And occasionally the set pieces pop up on top of me, for where I happen to be in the arena. And we use a tornado to dodge a tornado. Sound logic, right? I'd been a little bit faster, I could have gotten a perfect dodge off of that too. You take me an awful lot for me being behind the ice there. Not sure why. They didn't use anything big when I got frozen, so that's fine. Should be pretty close to taking him down here. Ah, can't believe I missed. How is he not dead yet? It's early. We are only at the 4-man remaining mark. Which...
Preparing to call on all armed ops to participate in a large-scale enemy suppression operation. The target is the corrupted former mothership.
Brave. We're both bravery, it's one of them, but for a lot of other classes it is. Okay, maybe that's what will kill him. There we go. Yeah. Okay.
Completed.
I was doing a little better than that, but... I guess I didn't miss a few big attacks. Alright, well, next step. I guess I can technically charge the chase arrows once we're down there. Hey there.
Emergency! Code!
If you're playing an FE7 mod that makes it harder and you think it's pretty good, cool. Hard to find good quality mods.
So, this is its true form.
I really don't like how sometimes I randomly lose targeting when he's right next to me and he's not teleporting. Like, it's annoying enough that I lose it when he teleports, but sometimes just standing beside me, it's like, by the way, you're key targeting. Why? I don't understand. It's right there. Makes Layla playable. Did they base her on her Heors appearance then? The thing about this too is he doesn't really have a set pattern in a lot of his moves, and then getting off rhythm with a block can get me hit a whole bunch of times. Fortunately, I play a Twa, so I have a huge amount of damage reduction, but if I was playing a different class, the danger of getting burst down. Well, I guess different subclass, technically, since Braver is my primary class. So I wait a little bit there, just because if I do it too soon, then I'm just gonna fall back down into the spikes. No one wants that. Except for Sodam, but who cares about Sodam?
about to get serious. Don't let your guard down, not even for a second.
Well, I meant with Layla, did they base it on her, like, how she plays in Heors? I really don't like being this close. If I'm in too close quarters, homing on some of my arrow attacks to do really funky things. Well, that's way more damage there than I would have liked. Weird, because I feel like I'm getting to the third phase very quickly. And then... like we get stuck here after that. I guess it could just be these later sections distribute more health into this, but... definitely feels like this first dragon a lot of the time. Time just close enough where I could get away with that. If the orb I put on him deals between 50 and 65% of the damage I do in 3 seconds once it's hit for the first time. But there's also some other quirks, like if he transitions the phase or like into another elemental zone, for some reason it despawns it. That's really uncool. Because that's one of its most vulnerable times, so it'd be where I could do a lot of damage if it didn't do that. So I was marginally faster than the last one. If you read Layla's death scene, she joins you on that chapter. I see. You don't remember in Heors? Oh, she would have released after you stopped playing then. But her gimmick is when she's near her support partner, she's uncounterable, and then she swaps spaces with their support partner. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not really knowledgeable enough about the 3DS to be able to advise you either way. I'd expect it to be a little bit hard to be able to play Game Boy Advance games on there, though, just because it'd need to be through an emulator of some sort. Which, I mean, I know Nintendo has that with the games they ported,
Emergency mission alert. Large-scale deployment operation in progress. All ArcSops, report to the quest counter to join the mission.
I don't know what the system, or how this system's quirks turn out, so... It's time to rebuff these too. Oh yeah, can't gulp down the fish rations too quickly, or else the game chokes. It's like, yeah, sure, it wouldn't have any effect. I'll believe you on that. So there's a 10 depth per day limit, so we'll be going for 40. If we do make 40, we're gonna be cut off. We won't be able to do more, but things are already slowing down a bit, so I'm actually kind of worried about making it to 50 eventually, which is kind of my goal with my current gear. I need to get much better gear, or I guess better affixes, to clarify.
Emergency code due.
Because I technically have all the best gear in the game right now, or I guess 2 of the best armor pieces. but
So,
2/3 of the stats come from being really expensive, basically enchantment type stuff, I guess, for those who want to compare some to other MMOs. But if I ever want to go beyond 50, I'd probably need better affixes. Maybe even beyond 40, depending. Hard to say. Yeah, that ice burst there, really dangerous. Because if he freezes me there, that attack will kill me instantly. Actually, if I'm caught out and standing out, not behind one of the ice pillars, I'll also die instantly. I am getting way too much here. He also returned the hard ones to JP to complete. What?
time to finish this.
What difference is there really though, aside from like the 3 times effective might? But I thought that was one of the games that was meddled with the least as far as the older games go. Stupid water gloves. Screwing with my targeting. I think I'm dodging a little too early on a lot of stuff now.
Seems it's about to get serious. Don't let your guard down, not even for a second.
Might just be me, but I feel like that message came sooner than usual. Tricky. Almost fooled me a bit with that one. Definitely an odd attack to use right before the snowstorm. Not sure what he was doing there. It definitely wasn't the earthquake, though. That's what he just used now. When you say promoted enemy units, you mean all the enemy units were promoted? So like no more tier 1 level 20 enemies in the last 3 maps? Yeah, we don't have the store stuff just yet. Also, you said that Lloyd and Linus joined. Doesn't that make the finale awkward where the door is supposed to have them in it? In general, this doesn't drop too much for loot. At least not from the boss itself. Um, Generally, for reaching depth benchmarks, the game pays out for those. Like, occasionally you can get really good drops, but the chances of them are pretty minuscule. Like, the best armor pieces in the game can technically drop from him, but, the odds are so bad that a lot of people just say to disregard it entirely. But, usually, when I'm talking about, like, say, affixes, you get, like, these augments here that come with, like, these trash tier armor pieces. And you can use the affix system to basically, steal the affixes off of other armor pieces. It's a little more complicated than that, but it's basically an essay to actually explain it, so... Unless I'm Stay, I won't get claws wrong. Yeah, Stay or my Alliance Leader. My Alliance Leader has apparently gotten 2 claws drops off of Foda. Yeah, you can see if I expand this, Shiva Glare gives a whole bunch of stats here. So he drops generally premium ones, even if it's on like trash units. Still answered your question without the essay. Alright. So like some of these are pretty relatively desirable. I guess because of how a lot of the UQs are these days, the glares are actually probably one of the more common ones, but since they're also the most volatile to use in affixing, that's probably a good thing. Because I'm sure some of you have seen me complain about it in Discord, but there's a lot of affixes in this game where, like, it's not guaranteed. And unlike New Genesis, some of them have really, really bad base affix chances. So you run into a lot of chances of failure where if it fails, you lose the materials and you lose the affix you were supposed to get. So it's a pretty janky system. I'm definitely not a big fan of it. Yeah, the best ones, generally speaking, you're not able to, like, because I can get 55% augment aids from fighting Sodam here if I get far enough in the depths. And even with the boost days, that's usually, it only gets up to about 80%, which sounds high, but a lot of us here are Fire Emblem players and know that 80% is not high. And there are a few support items in the game that kind of let you get around that a bit. Like the... Okay. There's insurance items that return the materials if you fail an augment. Knowing that the way I play Fire Emblem, 80%'s a guaranteed miss. Yeah. So there are insurance items that can be used, which returns all the materials if an Apex fails at all. Which sounds great. Until you realize that in order to make these insurance items, it basically costs 23 million plus Meseta in materials, so either way it costs a lot of money, whether you lose the materials or you lose the insurance. So long story short, Sega's essentially a gambling hall, and as we all know with gambling halls, the house always eventually wins.
Emergency! Code! Due!
This ominous aura. So, this is its true form.
I can't believe I didn't iframe that pillar there. Fortunately, no big attacks. I think they're gonna get a little wacky once we get to 40. Because in general, stats increase over the interim.
Time to finish this!
Interim levels, but every 10 levels is when the game tends to make major changes. So we're gonna get another phase. That phase is kind of rough in the raid version, so... pending. Things may get really dicey here in the solo version. Well, I guess unlike, so for 10, 20, and 30, his changes have all stuck, but the change, for some reason, I don't think I am ever really gonna understand. Sega decided, it's only like 10 or 40, 40, 50, 60, etc. that extra phase is gonna appear on. Which, I mean, I'm kind of grateful for, but at the same time, I don't really understand their design decision. Like, maybe they could have just made it have half as many floors then, and kept the change for all the floors? I don't know. This 100 seems really excessive. Just saying.
Seems it's about to get serious. Don't let your guard down, not even for a second.
Alright, in red. Back to you had to get the headache, but thanks for tuning in. Lurking. Shouldn't have done that. It's a waste of PP. I can't believe that thing was waiting for me, so at the bottom. Annoying. I guess I didn't get inflicted with paralysis, so whatever. I am really far away from him. That doesn't usually happen. run had a pretty rough start, so we're probably gonna take a few more for like be a minute longer than we have in the previous one or two.
The large-scale operation has ended. Thank you for your support.
That last one was definitely a little close. Although I think I had enough health that if it only hit me once, the spikes would have killed me. But I used gambling on it. I guess that wasn't that slow.
Completed.
Still, I definitely don't like the way the numbers are creeping up. Wow, game's really making me work on this reroll. There we go. Okay, what are we at? 35. So we're halfway there. For the record, this kind of thing is why I think that 100 is excessive. 'Cause even if you can end the runs really fast, like, say you take 6 minutes across the board all the time, it's still 600 minutes.
Emergency. Code.
But I suppose it might be something of an incentive to whale. Because a lot of the stuff that drops into this is pretty rare, because they're premium items. But it might be Seiya just going wink wink, nudge nudge. You know, you can pay for this. Just give us 10, 20 bucks. Can't believe that missed you perfectly. That kid had actually ended up pleasing me. Like that. Although, in this case, Sodam screwed himself up, because it stopped me from getting sucked into the gravity well. I'm astonished that counted as a perfect dodge. Because that was really late. I thought I was gonna get hit for dodging too late on that. So that was interesting. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to beat as far down as I can as far as levels go. But he gets harder every time. And the bigger prizes the farther down I go. A lot of them are premium tier quality, like the stuff you normally pay for.
About to get serious. Don't let your guard down.
Actually, the other day when I was doing this, someone came in here and was talking about how the 100 difficulties for a particular monster was very Monster Hunter-like. What's your perspective on that? Hey, Titania.
Can't lose! Let's see this through!
That was a strange sound. I don't know what sound effect that was for. Actually caught me. I was in the tornado too. This is why I love it twice. It's It gives me some actual bulk. And I know Marlu's all, hey, just don't get hit, but these end fights are pretty spammy. That's a lot easier said than done. I can't repeat the first. There's someone in here the other day who has said the 100 difficulties to a monster fight was very Monster Hunter-like. Do you feel that's an accurate assessment? If so, how do you feel it compares from what you've seen so far? That whole setting me on fire thing before trying to ice storm me instead of trying to freeze me now, it feels a lot less pro-gamer from Sodam game. I appreciate it. 'Cause I hate the insta-gift chance from that. For a tornado that constantly sucks me toward it, it did not want me to go in there. am I so off rhythm with that? That's pretty terrible. I took a lot of damage.
Completed.
You feel more like Kid Icarus uprising to you? I mean, part of that might just be the way the Braver class in particular plays. Because the other classes play fairly differently. Hello, Smuggy the Bear. You enjoyed the original Fantasy Star Online a bit more than this one, though this one seems to add a lot. Yeah, I suppose I can. I I can get that feeling too. So I initially started playing this. There was definitely nostalgia for the first game that made it. Even though like a lot of the mechanics in the second game are fixed up versions of the originals. The original one just had some parts of, or like some charm that the second one didn't quite replicate. And it still really hasn't replicated or done some of those bits, but in terms of game mechanics, like I feel like the game does at least improve on quite a few of them. Affix system aside, I hate the affix system so much. Monster Hunter combat has a lot more weight to it with bigger weapons like the Greatsword. And even with the flasher weapons, you're limited by the stamina meter. I mean, my PP meter is basically a stamina meter, and if I don't manage it properly, like, I run into huge trouble with the bow. Yeah, I guess I can't really think of even the heavier weapons in PSO2. They probably don't end up playing like how you're describing with the weightierness. Because like hunters here, they get the two-handed swords, but I don't think they're particularly slow with them. And those are about the biggest weapons you have. So I guess maybe maybe all PSO2's stuff plays like the flashier stamina based stuff that you know from that part of Monster Hunter. Yeah, that's why I wanted you to force to play through that. It wasn't too much to read. I mean, the original PSO one, you could basically ignore the capsules if you wanted to. the the story of PSO2 is, I guess, actually technically voluntary too. Like, I don't think any of the story stuff is required to unlock any of the raids or any of the dungeons. It's all like level-based requirements, but PSO2's story is, without a doubt, way more in your face. The first game is very atmospheric. It's almost like a very light pseudo horror to an extent. Because like you're making your way through all these desolate places where there's clear signs that people were alive here at some point. Like, and in the not too distant past, really. But all you find along the way are these cryptic messages and a bunch of murderous wildlife. Yeah, that's true. You can also, if you want to just get the rewards from playing through PSO2's story, you can just skip every cutscene and just play the battles. You can bring additional equipment like traps. Yeah, there's not a lot of that in PSO2. Rangers can lay traps, but that's specific to the Ranger class. Although I think subclassing Ranger gives you access to their traps too, so you can technically have some other classes use traps. Not quite sure how effective they'd be for some of the classes though. Because PSO2 kind of follows a bit in the footsteps of PSO1's endgame, which is just do more deeps faster. Okay, we're actually gonna go back out to my Alliance Hall. Because we're about to run out of the attack buff from it, so we're gonna go get that. Because especially with times like this, I definitely need the attack buff. You're maxed out at NGS, where to endgame at? Well, oops, that's not the right one. It seems like Sega believes that Purple Battle the should be the endgame at this point. Or I guess if you want to do mining rigs, but I know you don't like mining rigs.
I wish you the best of luck.
Original PSO is pretty robust for the time it was released. I mean, as big a fan as I am of it, I'm not quite sure I can totally agree with that. Like, PSO1 had some pretty big jank going on with its mechanics. Like, I think there's something wrong with your stat system when having more evade and more defense actually ends up being detrimental to a point. Like, that's always something that's kind of bugged me about the original PSO. Mining rigs is the worst. You'd rather let Ugo Persona bots look at you all day. Well, you know, there is a 999 depth Persona Masquerade thing if you want to actually go through with that. Don't you say that. I'm just joking. I don't expect you to do it. I'd hope most people wouldn't want to do that, because that's That seems like a really excessive grind to me. Like, Sodom's bad enough with his 104s, but Masquerade with his 999 is just why? Extra why? Gameplay features that were added but are aren't inherently necessary, as in like game modes, or do you mean like character skills? Unless it gives 99,999 automatic transfers, count you out. I don't remember what's from those rewards, but I'm pretty sure they're not as good as Sodom's. So you probably are better off staying away from it. In the original, basically everything was moved over to 2. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that statement. And, like, don't get me wrong, too. Like, PSO1, I definitely enjoyed enough to, um, start from scratch, I want to say at least 3 times. No, it's gotta be 4. Because I did Dreamcast, and then I did Xbox twice. And then I started again on the PC version so I could do episode 4. And the PC one, I actually got far enough to beat episode 4 on Ultimate, which was a bit of an excessive grind. But playing that long with the game also made me intimately familiar with a number of flaws that I am glad that PSO2 did not replicate. Makes stat skills almost everything like the rare drop system. Yeah, I mean, I think I remember reading someone saying that 2, like this is kind of the most elegant way to put it, is 2 was channeling 1 very hard at the start. And it shows, like, episode 1 through 3 are very PSO1. There's a lot of things that are very similar, and then they start to differ a little bit, but Sega basically sticks to the formula with little changes. And then episode 4 happens. And I think that episode more or less speaks for itself with how crazy it is. There's a reason I decided to do that one as the story showcase, because it's so ridiculous, it's entertaining.
Emergency! Code! Heors!
Whoa. Hi, camera.
So, this is its
You're a
true form.
PSO2 camera, not PSO1. Don't do that to me. Which I guess, speaking of features that I'm glad that they fixed from 1 to 2, is the camera is a lot better in this game. I do not miss having to manually adjust the camera in PSO1, like every 3 steps. But yeah, I guess continuing on the thought, from episode 4 onward, the game just kind of gradually gets more and more spammy. Until you get stuff like this, which is more or less the entirety of episode 6. And New Genesis dialed it back a little bit and made it a little more about precision again.
Time to finish this.
But it's still, you can tell from their design philosophy that they're going with a more spammy gameplay overall. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It helps keep New Genesis moving forward as long as the engine supports it, which, if I'm being honest, they did a pretty good job of it. It's just a shame there's zero content on it. It's like, it makes me think of like Metal Gear Solid 5, where they built this really complex engine and then just didn't do content for it. Well, I guess New Genesis is getting an update in December, but like, that is way too long between story episodes. And I think I'd be okay with it more if they did more stuff like Ina's additional subquests, but like we only got one of those, and it was 15 minutes long. And that was it. And like, if you compare, say, it to base PSO2, like, Episode 1's really awkward about it, but it does things to develop all of the secondary characters. Like, you meet Lisa, you meet Marlu, you get extra bits with McCoy, stuff like that.
Seems it's about to get serious. Don't let your guard down, not even for a second.
Whereas, like, you run into, like, cause you can run into Matoy on missions here, or like Marlu or whatever, and they're like, hey, can I help you, or I need your help taking down these false spawn. And it's like, oh yeah, I know these characters, they were introduced to me. But, like, they try to do the same in New Genesis, and you get a bunch of characters that show up in the trials, and it's like, wait, who are you? I was never introduced to you. There's no side story stuff to you, so, like, you're just a generic NPC. And yeah, sorry if I'm a little bit slow to respawn. It's hard to read chat when I'm fighting this guy, but for sure, like, the PSO1 system, I'm kind of the same. Like, I could fight the same monsters and get somewhat different areas a lot. There's just something that flowed really well with the system despite its jank, oddly enough. But at the same time, I can see why it's not really great by modern design standards. What happened to my... Hello? What happened to my... the palette? Okay, well I guess I died because my sub palette disappeared. Did I accidentally hit a button that erased it? That's weird. What did I hit that hit it? Cause like, when it disabled it, I couldn't hit any buttons either. So I couldn't heal. Sorry, just give me... We're gonna lose sand for a second here, I just wanna scroll. Because I actually didn't have my phone open for seeing the chat without needing to scroll back on the PC. That's a problem with the games that mute the sound when you tab out of them. At least we know the reason why Konami didn't continue to use the engine. I mean... It's mostly because Konami stopped making games, right? The December update bombs, you're considering having the time back on FF14. Oh, but then... Well, we'll miss you, Titania. You'll still hang around on base, right? I'm really hoping, because they took so long, that that December update is very weighty. Because... we really need something. Like, we need extra story, we need extra, like, content to do. Because, like, pretty new areas are cool and all, but... a lot of people are gonna get bored very quickly. I'm the kind of person who can sort of run around and just explore every nook and cranny for the first bit, but once I'm done with that and I'm familiar with the areas, then I lose interest as much as the people who just don't want to explore it in general. You're very in between about the game. Has the core mechanics, but something when you played it just seemed to be missing and you can't quite name it. You think maybe it's like the charm I was talking about? Like, that's kind of something I felt was a little bit looser in chapter or episode 1, where it it didn't quite feel, I guess, the same. Like, it didn't quite carry for the, well, I keep using the word charm, but yeah, like the charm that kind of compelled me to keep playing as much. Like, I was kind of iffy on base until I got to episode 2, and I think episode 2 is kind of my favorite overall now that I've played them all. At least in terms of story. Mechanic-wise, I'd be hard-pressed to really name one, but I think I enjoyed like the more precise stuff in episodes 2 and 3 over the spammier stuff later on, but like it's still, I guess it's still fun to do this faster paced stuff too. Kind of like the soul of the game. Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it. Oh, I guess I got this 50 SG ticket. So this is like semi-premium currency. You can either buy it with money or you can earn it in-game. Oh. So this is the kind of stuff that Sodam will give out for beating certain depths. So yay, I get 50 star gems. Let's see, how are our buffs doing now? Alright, so let's do this again and hopefully not accidentally turn off the entire interface. I'm still not quite sure what I did there though, because it deleted my entire palette and sub-palette in the middle, and then trying to press any sub-palette buttons did nothing.
Emergency code used.
This ominous aura. So, this is its true form.
At least I feel like I'm on a bit of a better rhythm here right out the gate. I am a little bit annoyed that I got cheated by the interface. Oh yeah, I guess for anyone unaware what Cradle is, it's a kind of the ultimate farming UQ. And because the game currently has increased rare drop rate going, people are farming the crap out of it. Which makes sense. Because where do you go if you have rare drop rate increase and you want the best stuff? Although it's hilariously probably not very good for the economy. It's the kind of thing that essentially spawns infinite money from how farmable it is. And yeah, that kind of ruins the market.
Time to finish this!
It's kind of like, what if we had infinite inflation in real life? Well, we're like already halfway there in a lot of countries, so just make it much, much worse. That's what you get here. By the way, it's also a necessary evil of a sort, because it also technically allows free-to-plays to get some of the better affixes without running all over everywhere, doing a million UQs just to build one component. But I really hope they find a better solution in New Genesis. And don't end up just like time moving themselves. Yeah, people murder the personal shops and their speed haste. I imagine so, just cause like, I'm late to the party here and I realize how destroy the economy is. But yeah, for sure I can see like how the auction, well, I guess it's not even an auction system, it's like just straight up store system is gonna be a big turn-off. I'm out of that's why. Can't believe, like, that was only one hit. I was very far out for one hit.
About to get serious. Don't let your guard down, not even for a second.
I guess I can't speak for like the people you would have encountered, but I feel like it's still, like, there's still enough that you still have to earn your high-end items. Because there are certain components that are sellable on the market, yeah, but there's some stuff that you have to farm. Like, for instance, the bow I'm using, best bow in the game, you can't buy that. You can't even buy most of the components for it. You have to farm Vides, you have to farm Sodam and, like, the Flota UQ.
Can't lose. Let's see this through.
Whoa, I don't know if that was like game lagging or the server lagging, but yikes. So yeah, it's definitely not super ideal. Particularly since, like, North America had to basically fast-track so much of the progression compared to the Japanese servers, but I don't feel that's in a situation where you buy all your high-end items. Like, the claws units are probably maybe, I guess, technically the biggest offender. Because you can just buy the modules from people for the claw stuff, but it's really expensive to do that. And then on top of that, you still have to affix it to get more than like 40% of its potential stats out of it, so yeah, you still have to do a lot of stuff to earn it. That said, there is a possibility to buy certain additional things that give you an advantage, like if you're willing to spend real money too. So it's definitely not perfect, but they at least tried, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. A tough sell for you. Yeah, I can understand how it wouldn't rip you as much as the original. Like I said, it was a little bit of a slow burn with me too. And I wasn't even sure I like it when I was playing the first episode. Especially since a lot of stuff felt like, especially around shops and whatnot, or not shops, doing the unit affixes and whatnot, felt super backwards compared to New Genesis, which is where I started, as far as PSO2 goes. I can totally understand if you get to that point and then you're not sold afterward. I mean, a lot of rares in PSO1 weren't that great either. Like, there were some that were just like tons and tons of attack power behind others of the same rarity for seemingly no reason. But I for sure agree that PSO2 didn't do anything to solve that issue. Because there are, again, items just like that in PSO2 where it's like, oh, well, same rarity, but weaker. For seemingly no reason. Like, there's a clear progression at the end between stuff like, say, Trailblazer and Claws, but there's a whole bunch of stuff in the middle that's I kind of wonder. And admittedly, like, the answer is probably that it's just the international version cramming in all that progression when the Japanese had a slow release that might have made them more meaningful. Wow, I am getting destroyed time-wise here. Yeah, that was pretty badly played on my part, I guess.
Completed.
Yeah, that's true. The PSO2 does kind of lump the endgame tier stuff together, so it can be a little bit hard to differentiate them for sure. But still, like, there is some progression, at least in the endgame, but the middle ground, definitely, it feels like it's muddled for sure. I can go on the wiki and I'll look at some of the 13 and 14 star weapons, and it's like... Well, I guess I've seen them now, but back when I was trying to figure out what I was trying to do for endgame, it's like, what are some of these items? Like, I've never seen or heard of them. And it'd be like 40% of the list. And I know some of them were outdated releases for, like, say, Episode 4 had its own sets of stuff, Episode 5 had its own sets of stuff. So there is a bit of that. But it's definitely a little weird. All MMOs are like that, grind X to make X for X that's not unique or fun. Just copy paste, pass a higher number equals better. Yeah, that's a fair statement. Oh. Technically not just with MMOs. So RPGs in general kind of fall into that. But, I mean, I guess that's part of the, like, abstract representation of you getting stronger over time, too, right? So, like, there is a purpose to have it like that, but I can see where you're coming from, and you think it's not the particularly most fun way to do it. Wait, did I retried this, right? Okay. Like, I don't want to do drinks if I haven't retried yet. That would just be silly. Ah, come on, give me L with economization. Need that damage output. Wait, what did I just... Oh, that's a jerky. I'm like... Because green is usually a raid bonus base, so like, when did I pick that up? I haven't been out to do any raids tonight. At least on stream. Jeez, game's being pretty ornery here. There we go. Are you trying to tell me something, game? You don't want me to do 437?
Emergency code Q.
This ominous aura. So, this is its true form.
I'm not sure why it took so long on that last run, because that last run had a strong start. Oh, boo. Stupid ice pillar is blocking my shots.
Time to finish this!
I didn't have a ballista shot for that. It's done. 'Cause even though the wind area is not super threatening, it's a huge time waster.
about to get serious. Don't let your guard down, not even for a second.
That's kind of a rude immediate attack. Although I'm surprised I got the perfect dodge on that, so I definitely wasn't expecting that.
Can't lose! Let's see this through!
I was gonna get hit by that purple tornado for sure. Just stood at the edge, I guess. Nice timing. It definitely feels a lot smoother. That was weird. Just banish and take my banishing arrow with you, why don't you? It's not like I wanted to explode or anything. That stun as he's about to unleash that ice burst. That's pretty good. Sodam is really annoying though, the one that circles, because either it chips me a bunch or I get out of the way, but it wastes like 10 seconds I could be doing DPS in. Yeah, I think I'm just playing pretty badly on that last one near the end, because that was a really fast clear, just comparatively. I think I actually need to start selling some of this junk too. Because I've got enough of the glare stuff that I can't really justify using the storage space anymore. For just like a bunch of extra Sodam drops, so I'll probably just pawn them off to recover some of my healing item expenditures. You did find enjoyment leveling the classes in PSO2. It seemed like a level of Phantasy Star Universe that you missed on the Xbox. I see. I did hear that they seem to take some elements of Phantasy Star Universe from it. And I feel like some of the dodge rolling pulls from Phantasy Star Zero, too. You only was wanted Phantasy Star 5 on and your expectations were high for that reason. Yeah, I can see that then. As a kid, you rented Phantasy Star 4 and was immediately immersed when you heard the intro background music loud on the old school TV speakers. Yeah, it's definitely,
Notice.
definitely a
Signs
good
of Dark
experience.
Falls Luther have been detected on Omega. We're going to need your assistance, so get ready.
And you pulled off one of the combo attacks at random and it caught you by complete surprise. I mean, I guess that's kind of a good thing and a bad thing, right? Like, it's a pleasant surprise, but at the same time, for people who want to try to use the combos, like, I don't think the game has much for documentation on that in 4, right? Every day for buffs. Should be good for one more round, and then I'll have to pull some more Juki out of the storage. So, it's one of those things where it's like, well, I've Runic Way and Soul of Darkness. Actually, I don't know why I'm even picking them up, really. Because it does recoup things a little bit, but I have to spend time selling them off, too. So maybe we'll just only pick up reds if, for whatever reason, they happen to drop. It seems like solo Sodam doesn't like dropping reds. It was a pleasant surprise to see a level of depth you hadn't seen before. Fair enough. I guess especially since Yeah, a combo spell system would have been pretty rare at that point in video game history.
Your Majesty, code due.
This ominous armor. So, this is its true form.
If I dodged that one late, I thought I was gonna get out of the way. That one was a little close. I usually don't like to be so near him when he's in the ice phase, just because the danger of that. Although I guess he's already done the snowstorm.
Time to finish this!
Nice. Phase transition's done. Haven't had one of those in a while. It was like towards the end of the session last time. Ah. I should use a Nemesis arrow at the end of that. Even though I won't have a banishing arrow on him, it's a good way to get some free 400,000 damage on him. It's more than I'll get doing most of the other stuff, so...
Seems it's about to get serious. Don't let your guard down, not even for a second.
Okay, Nemesis there is definitely better too, because it doesn't use my ballista shots. What? Somehow that missed despite being at very close range.
Can't lose! Let's see this through!
Damn, if I didn't have that thing following me around the entire time, I probably could have tried to Nemesis arrow that. Huh. I feel like Sodam's starting to attack off target for some reason. He's like, whiff. I don't know if I'm just confusing the AI or what, but... I can't do Nemesis arrow if he's gonna do that to me now. Yeah, that definitely feels better doing the Nemesis arrow there. Definitely trying to be extra obnoxious this time around, that's for sure. That was a pretty hectic fire and ice there. Definitely glad Atomizer Lover gives me invincibility off of that. That effects in this game can be really bad. There we go. 38.
Dark False Lifter has appeared on Omega. Move out immediately and rout the enemy.
As you got older, you revisited the game, you figured out the speed stat and how it works into the macros for the combos. Cool. You can still play the game to this day, nice. You enjoy it, but hoping for something that has the same archetype with a bigger magnitude. Yeah, that might be a little tough since it feels like Fantasy Star has kind of moved away from that type of stuff, although I get the impression they were kind of trying to maybe bring back a little bit of that with, when they have the crafting system here. Because that allows you to customize texts and photon arts. As well as your standard build units and weapons and stuff, but the customization of text and photon arts is probably the most interesting part of it, but it was also not... I mean, I guess this is looking at a perspective of After Fact, too, of just trying to poke into it, and it doesn't feel terribly amazing, unfortunately, but I think they were trying to do something along those lines. It's an old game that seems to have died out after technological upgrades. Well, I mean, it's kind of moved in a different direction, more like, right? Because the Dreamcast PSO1 definitely marked a very different turn for the series compared to the Genesis days, right? Alright, I want to get these last two depths, but I need to refill my drink, so I'll be right back. Just give me a minute. Alright, I'm back. You're under the impression that Reina Akinawa no longer programs. If that was their name. Well, I'm not too familiar with developer names, so you probably know better than I in that case. Oh boy, game's gonna make us reroll 15 times again, isn't it? Come on. I don't think there's ever been a point where I've taken up enough damage to cause my photon boss to charge. Which is, I guess, interesting, because it's not like I haven't been hit. But I guess I just need to be hit a lot more for that, and I don't think that's very practical. If I'm getting hit that much, we're probably gonna time out. Even if we have the acceleration from that. Alright, let's get some jerky. Jerky, not jerky. I don't know what jerky is, but my brain apparently thinks it's a thing. What are we doing on the fish rations? Yeah, let's add 2 more. In theory, this covers us for the last 2 fights if I don't die. Or possibly if I die very early in one of the 2 fights. Alright, let's try to get these last 2 done. The real trial is gonna be at 40 though.
Emergency! Code due!
This ominous aura. So, this is its true form.
Oh, that's not. I miskeyed that a little bit. And did shift when I wasn't supposed to, so I tried to Nemesis arrow when I was trying to do that. Put the vanishing arrow up. I do like that I'm slowly finding places to slip the Nemesis arrow in for extra damage. Especially considering how many millions of hit points this guy has. That's a heck of a time for a stun. Almost cinematic.
Time to finish this!
Man, a lot of things going on at once right here. Like, I don't really like how much you can stagger the ults and stuff. 'Cause even if I can avoid them, it ends up putting my damage output a lot. Alright, somehow I took damage and got a perfect dodge out of that. How does that work? I did that a bit early. Almost timed it so I could try to get him. Then that was like Sodam's moves were fighting each other. It's like, no, I want to damage her. No, I want to damage her. And then neither of them did.
Can't lose! Let's see this through!
That was weird, because that prevented me from doing Nemesis Arrow there, unless I wanted to get hit. almost did that one a little too early, but it was okay. Surprised I still counted as a weak point. I was firing into his back, basically. The game can be really finicky about weak points when it comes to that kind of stuff. See if we can get another weak point into his back shot. No, nothing's gonna work. Well, we tried. Ooh, the double. Not super fast here though. This is making me concerned about fighting in traditional phase in the next step. Yeah, it's 11 and a half. That leaves a decent buffer, but... Still feeling a little iffy. Maybe at a point in time there was even slated a Fantasy Star 5 that was cancelled due to that reason. Maybe. It was a compilation that included Fantasy Star 4 with added story but only in Japanese. Ah, that's unfortunate. You know the story of Fantasy Star 4 by heart, you beat it 19 times. Nice. I'm glad you have a game that you love that much. Alright, this is it. The game even gave us economization on the first go. Does that mean we will settle this? Only time will tell. So unless there's a huge increase in hit points, maybe we'll just transition faster and then get that last part. I'm gonna have to be really careful though, because there's some pretty easy one-hit kills you can get on that last part.
Emergency code due.
This ominous aura. So, this is its true form.
Alright, I did not expect to start in the fire there. Definitely it's a lot of positioning for my aggression, I guess. But I'm really trying to ramp up the damage here, because that next phase is really gonna be, seriously gonna be a time waster. So we need to make sure we've got enough time on the clock by the time we reach it. Although I need to stop getting hit too, that's not helping my DPS. There's a bunch of DPS. We weren't in danger of dying since he already did the snow blizzard attack, so.
Time to finish this!
I'm not sure how to feel about how I'm doing right now. Damn, I didn't have enough for bashing out. Oh, really? I came out of the transition and I guess he still wasn't targetable. Well, that is getting really good at damage output.
Seems it's about to get serious. Don't let your guard down, not even for a second.
Too early again on that. One of these times I'll actually catch him with that Nemesis arrow.
You can't lose! Let's see this through!
Ah. Didn't actually hit the weak point, but I get to 180,000 and still 180,000. Got him. Wasn't sure if that was gonna land. But it never hurts to try, I guess.
It looks like the
we gonna have enough time? We still haven't transitioned yet. Alright, there's our transition. 4 minutes left. Not particularly confident, considering his moves take aeons here.
I can't let you deal with this all on your own. I'll fight alongside you.
Did I get all the fingers there? He's acting like I did. Damn it. That's the attack I needed to watch out for. I was trying to move to the side to be out of it, but I should have swapped my katana and dashed. 'Cause normally I don't have trouble getting out of the way, so I don't know why you did it so fast. It's a well-made game, but you don't understand the canonical aspect of the Phantasy Star titles. You were just a kid at the time who played it, and it was fun for you. I feel like they're pretty loose about it anyway. I don't think the Genesis titles tie together too well. Phantasy Star Online had many features in a game you enjoyed, but distinctive venture away from the original titles was something you hated at the time. Well, if you liked 4 so much, I can understand that for sure. He ended up picking up PSO years later when he found it on one of those private custom servers. He had fun with it. It's maybe the best experience overall, really, because, like, I'm not sure if it would... Like, if you had to do it like I did, where you had to restart every time to get the next episode, you might not have, liked it too much, I don't know. But yeah, I can understand PSO2 being kind of bitter for you if, with the delayed release. Like, that's a big part of why I didn't even really think too much about it when it actually did release. I was like, well, I've kind of moved on to other things at this point. This game's a little late, so... It took New Genesis to actually get me to try the story of this game. Right, so we are at... Should have enough attack buff. So we just gotta do jerky and fish rations. Although we need to move quickly on the assumption that we are gonna take nearly the full 15 minutes. Because there's only 16 minutes left on my alliance buff, so we want to make sure we have that for the full battle. Alright, let's not get cheap shotted this time.
Emergency code due.
Ominous aura. So, this is its true form.
We're doing okay damage. I feel like we really didn't maximize it like I would have liked to though.
Time to finish this!
I got away with being brazen there. I guess that's probably what it's gonna take if we want to kill him here.
Seems it's about to get serious. Don't let your guard down, not even for a second.
Yes, I got him with it. We haven't gotten the get serious message yet, so we're still potentially behind where we were last time.
We can't lose. Let's see this.
We're not get serious, so we can't lose. I don't know why I got the two mixed up. Badly timed, I missed the weak point. Damn. The other one though just spawned right on top of me, because it was clear, but I just like got beamed by that. There's really anything I could have done. It feels like it's getting worse. We're doing worse than before. Well, this should transition them, but I think we're gonna be in a worse situation than before. Wait, no, it's not? God damn it, man. This really doesn't feel like a winning run at this point. We'll try anyway.
I can't let you deal with this all on your own. I'll fight alongside you.
Can't even tell where all of them are at times. Oh god, this could kill me too. Because I don't have the Matoy blessing. Holy crap. That was really dangerous.
Completed.
That thing I dodged at the end there, that does 2,500 damage to an Etoile. And I didn't have a blessing from breaking the fingers. I thought I was getting them. Oh. Because I would have had the hit points to survive it there if I had, but that was nerve-wracking at the end. That dodge was basically the make or break. You guess All in All PS2 isn't a bad title with players like you, more about the fact that it isn't the same RPG experience in a way as the early titles. I mean, I can understand that. It's definitely had its fair share of problems. On Death 40, when he does the flat hand placement at the start, I can go for the left side hand that's in the goop, and hit 5 penetrations on his ring finger. But that can kill him straight off on 40. Interesting. I assume it does heavy damage on 50 and 60, etc. If I go for that in at those depths. It's hard to describe. Well, I'm sure I'll try to figure it out when I do my next photo or something, but like you're saying on my left side, the hand that's in the goop is a pretty good description. I think I can figure it out from there the next time I fight him. In higher depths, it'll push back fast. Ah, okay. Interesting, but Thanks for the advice, regardless. So as you can probably tell, I'm still working on my technique a bit. So I'm getting things figured out as I go in here. So it's not quite all gear that I need to account for going down, but still. Yeah, I've kind of noticed that Bo just kind of suffers against a lot of the enemies here, like the bosses. Because, like, especially the photoners just teleporting around all the time. It's like the bow's just too slow for some of its higher damage moves at a lot of the time. In base your bow, but you just hate doing it against Sodam. Well, maybe I'll need to get some advice from you sometime on how to deal with the photoners. Torrential and Master Mash. Yeah, Master Mash is what I do, but it feels like the Master Mashing doesn't. Like, it feels kind of lackluster. Although if someone else has aggro, sometimes I can just do continual Nemesis arrows, which is sort of nice. But I'll have to look at incorporating Torrential in my rotation again against them. You've been trying to get sub 50 TVD solo with Brave Luster, since it took you a while to build up your gear on Global. Since on on Japan, like the Japanese series, when you talk about free triggers, like what are you talking about? Like the treasure trap stuff, or? Use the gun slash. That's kind of incredible, actually. You're my hero for doing that. Oh, there's no Rising Bad Shop in Japanese. I see. So you're not able to buy the triggers. That makes sense. So you just hope the triggers drop for you then? Like rare item drops? Or is there some other way to get it? You can do an attempt in a few hours if you feel up to it. Well, I wish you luck with it. It has to show up in the treasure shop. Oof. That's gross. Yeah, requiring you to spend SG is... That's an oof. So I know I wouldn't spend SG on triggers for the most part. But I guess I'm a free-to-play player too, so that's part of the stinginess. At some point, I think I do want to actually throw a little bit of cash at Sega, because I have enjoyed this game quite a bit, but it probably won't be enough to make me justify buying triggers with SG. It is kind of funny how it's flipped around, because, like, I got into PSO2 with New Genesis, and the endgame, like, current endgame there made me absolutely not feel like I wanted to spend money. The base PSO2 has actually helped Sega's case a little bit, so maybe at some point. So many things that can go wrong timing-wise that ruins the run, but it only happens in part 1. Ah. Yeah, because I know I get hit a lot, and I'm running a Twa because I know I'm likely to get clipped a lot with these bosses. So you are very brave for running Brave Luster, I guess. You enjoy New Genesis for what it is, but you're nowhere near as sweaty in New Genesis as in base. I mean, New Genesis doesn't really give you too much incentive for it, right? Because like I enjoy the engine of New Genesis more, but I'm in base because it's got all the content. It's like, okay, we had initial story and one extra side quest, and then nothing else in New Genesis? Cool. I guess I'll just sit on my hands. Solo Purple and Gigantics. Yeah, I haven't done or I haven't attempted Solo Purple Battle yet. I don't think I'd be able to do it. Because I don't play a super high DPS class, I run Ranger on New Genesis, but I've done one-on-ones with Gigantics, and I'm not sure if I want to keep doing those, to put it frankly. Well, actually, I was pretty sure I didn't want to do those, which is why I started peeking into the base story. And, well, here I am. Really, Ranger can do purple solo? Interesting. Well, maybe at some point I'll try it. Because I feel like with my rifle, I don't do too much damage, but if I try to use my launcher against the Gigantics enemies, I'm just gonna get pummeled. Because there's not really too many openings. But who knows, maybe I just need to get good. Because I am a little bit out of practice on New Genesis now. Although I still got the muscle memory for a lot of the fights, so not completely out. You don't follow Sweaty New Genesis stuff too much, but you do recall seeing a few Rangers do solo perp. Okay, interesting. Well, I guess I'll see if I end up with enough purple battle DF fragment or triggers to justify it. There's not a ton of window left before. Well, I guess there might be a big window left. Because when Sega says they're gonna release a new area and part in December, it could easily mean December 31st, going off of their standard timelines. So maybe there's a big gap potentially, but we'll have to see. Need evil code? Oh, I've got evil code. That's no problem. It's not a high fixer or anything, but it's an evil code multi to rifle launcher, so it's a fairly meta build. Well, sort of meta. I go a little more for durability, which is why I think that I may not be able to do it compared to people going for like full-on GPS and stuff, but who knows. Oh, it doesn't use the trigs if I quit out. Interesting. So... So yeah, I guess I could just do it for the sake of seeing and then quit before it resolves. I guess I'll have to see if I have enough triggers for it. Because yeah, I am fairly highly geared out, I'm just not super meta geared. So I've got the extra hit points, so I usually live through, I can live through a Giga hit and I just need to use one rest assign. And I can usually tank another one after that. Although preferably I don't take Giga hits at all, but you know how these fights go, right? You forgot how many photon blasts I can use using evil code in purple compared to not using evil code. Yeah, I mean, I've also got I've got a small arsenal anyway. Like I built a Flammel, I built a evil coach, and I built a Resurger. So I guess I could personally put it to the test and see for myself. Yeah, there are a few really low frame attacks like that, aren't there? It's why I usually try to keep my distance, but that also makes it so my DPS isn't the greatest, so you know. Although I guess I talk about preferably not getting hit, but like my kind of preferred playstyle since I've been playing Ranger almost since the beginning, and Resurger was the only thing that could multi. So I got in the habit of trying to get down the perfect dodges to activate the Resurger crit. And then I decided I like the counterattack damage, so I make a habit of doing it when I probably shouldn't, including against a lot of Giga attacks. So I kind of do play a bit with fire with the ones that are more telegraphed. But yeah. Wow, alright. I definitely ran later on this than I wanted to, so we're not definitely not gonna be able to do story stuff, but I realized last time I didn't show off the titles to you all. So for those unfamiliar with it, like there it is, I got Conquer the Inner Darkness for getting to 440 and beating it. So this is kind of how they distribute the big one-time expensive stuff. Most classes just rely on counter and solo purple, so if I got that, then it's gonna be good. Okay. Well, consider me intrigued then. I might have to have a go at it then. And I guess I'll have to figure out how to utilize those photon blasts too. But yeah, it's late. I gotta wash up to get to bed for work tomorrow, so thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back Wednesday for some more Halo. I really shouldn't be considering this, but I might try to see how far I can get working towards depth 50 on Thursday. I guess I'll see in the Discord if I decide to do it. I probably shouldn't, but we'll see. And Fridays are setless, and Sunday is 3 houses. So yeah. Oh, thanks for the follow, Sato Mizuki. And thanks for the chat too. That was very informative. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope to see you Wednesday, and have yourselves a good night.